And so I didn't realize, like I said, I didn't realize the correlation of the two until I began to really get in what I do for a living. And I understood how the health, the money's not right, it impacts the health of the body. And the body began to exhibit that, whether it be in their having strokes, heart issues, because stress, because stress is a silent killer. And I know I'm giving you guys, it seems like I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but I'm dealing with issues, and I'm coming with solutions. So, but I know there's some good news. By the way, it's good news always. But I have to deal with the challenges, because if when we try to downplay it or sweep it under the rug, we will never get the solution. We'll never get the healing. We'll never break free from that. And so anxiety is something that's really high. And that came to my heart to really talk about today, is the anxiety that many people are facing, many challenges, things that are not going where you want to go. There's a lot of financial pressures. There's a lot of pressure in life. There's just pressure. There's a lot of circumstances that are going on. And I mentioned it at the start of the new year. I think many people went through like, whoa, what is really going on right now? What is happening right now? I didn't see this coming. I didn't expect that. And so, so we're not careful. Those things play a role in our decision making. It impacts not only our decision making, it impacts on how we eat. Sometimes I was saying to someone, when they deal with a lot of high debt or a lot of issues, a lot of financial pressure. Let's just talk about financial pressure, Rick. Let's just talk about that specific one, the financial pressure. And so because of that, if we're not careful, let me emphasize that. If we're not careful, I just want to make sure I'm emphasizing that so that I don't take my words out of context. If we're not careful, it can impact the body. It can impact your health. It can cause you to have dry bones. And that's what y'all know I'm talking about when I say dry bones. It can impact it if we're not careful. And we're not really seeking strategies and wisdom on how to overcome that. If we're not talking to people about it, or not people, but we're not, dealing with that issue. And how do we get out of it? How do we change that? How do we improve that? And so one of the things I get to do is I get to talk about how to increase your income, 5x, 10x your income, to help you get out of debt, help you deal with limited income flow that's keeping your expenses high. How do you get out of that? How do you want to have more time and freedom? How does that work? How do you do that, Shantay? So I get to teach on that. I get to talk about how you have a multi-handed, system-driven business. I get to talk about that because I know that's a part of a solution. Yes, there's more to it, but that's part of the solution. I get to do that. And not only that, I jokingly say to people, I ask this question, I said, when was the last time you ever seen the owner of McDonald's at McDonald's? And so I said, I get an opportunity to teach you how to do that so you can get out of debt. Because debt is a big deal.